Hey, you're watching Half Asian Tarot Queen, and I am Elisa, and I am gonna do a reading for the month. I kind of have fallen off track with the monthly readings. I was doing them for a while, but I haven't done one lately, so I think I'm going to do one for May. Oh my gosh. Okay, so at the bottom of the deck, we got the Ace of Pentacles. And then in front of that, we got the Queen of Pentacles, and we got the Eight of Wands. So like there's like messages coming in about an opportunity, perhaps for this Queen of Pentacles. And when I pulled this down, we got Nine of Cups. So like wishes coming true. And we got the Empress. So it's interesting because there was a reading about someone being elevated to Empress status, which I'm going to link up here. But there's also been like a lot of stuff about, because I've been like really, I relate this energy to like Gaia and Mother Earth, because it's like Pentacle energy, and there's like a lot going on with divine feminine energy and Gaia and Earth, and like wars over the resources and this exploitation of the Earth's resources, and how there's sort of this shift that's happening about like divine feminine energy is being elevated, and there's sort of this sort of crumbling of the distorted masculine energy. There's a reading about this too, which I'm going to link up here, that's happening worldwide. But like it's not even just distorted masculine energy. I think it's like distorted feminine, just distorted energy in general, because the whole world is kind of getting more spiritually elevated. And like, I mean, right now, just like universally, there's this whole thing about, I just think for the longest time it was like too much work to like call out people who were like sort of like lying, you know. And it's really weird how right now it's like there's this rage that's happening where people are finally just getting so mad that they're just like standing their ground and holding people to account for like lying, you know. So you can see that everywhere. Like, so examples that are happening right now, you know, I mean, the whole NATO against Vladimir Putin and his war of aggression, the whole January 6th committee, the whole Johnny Depp and Amber Heard situation. I mean, it's all just, and in every case, it's sort of like in the last era, it's like these people with sort of like narcissistic tendencies have, I mean, I think people were so sort of checked out in a way that like the people who were the like most aggressive, that just told whatever lie they needed to tell to get their way, like that, it was like our world sort of selected for that mechanism of success in a way. And like I think like just worldwide, like everyone has gotten screwed over so many times by that sort of like situationship, that like there's just this like moral rage that's like just like cleaning the landscape just like globally on that issue that is just happening. Okay, so yeah, so when I split the Priestess of Light, I got divine feminine, magnetic receptive power. So yeah, like I was saying, this elevation of divine feminine energy that's happening, that's really crazy. And then earth magic, fearlessness, and removing obstacles. So again, like, where in past eras it's just been too inconvenient to confront lies and obstacles, and like people are just like, I don't have time for this right now. But like all of a sudden there's just this universal rage where we're like, we are confronting and removing this stuff, and it's just happening just everywhere. So I don't know why this is coming out for the month of May, but I think it's interesting because there's this opportunity coming to this sort of Gaia, Mother Earth energy where this is being elevated, you know. And also, like, I liken this to like Ukraine, because there's a reading called Defending the Motherland about this, and it was just sort of like, because I mean, Ukraine is sort of being exploited for their resources, and that's kind of what this whole war is about. And you know, like, the whole world is being sort of blackmailed for like Russia's energy in a way. And it's just sort of like, what's going to happen with all of this, you know? I'm going now to the Light Seers Tarot, and I'm going to pick some stuff. Interesting. Wow. This is really interesting because it kind of, in a way, like, confirms what I've just been saying. There's all this feminine energy that's coming out. Like, I think every card that just came out is a feminine, it's all feminine energy, which is wild. But at the bottom, we have the High Priestess. So this is obviously feminine energy that's tapped in, being guided, like very intuitive. We have this, okay, so we have these three females pictured here, but this is the Three of Cups, which is like being reunited with your tribe. But what's interesting is that they're staring up at the stars, and like they're staring up at this sort of like, I don't know if that's like the Big Dipper, but it's almost like it's written in the stars, like what's happening, you know, and there's like an alignment with this sort of reunion of like-minded people that's happening right now. And then we have the Empress. Again, we have Gaia, Mother Earth, actually shown in the picture. And you know, there's like some gestational period that's happening, but there's this, you know, the Empress represents birth, you know, so there's like, it's almost like this birth of this new era for this Gaia Earth energy. And then we have the Queen of Cups, which is coming from being led by your heart, you know, instead of being led by like emotional blackmail and like distorted exploitation or whatever. You know, we're coming from this heart-centered place in this new era, because things are changing. And that's this whole thing. It's so crazy because this whole reading is like, it's like it's all feminine energy. We've got divine feminine energy. We have this earth magic. This is a feminine. We have the Queen of Pentacles here. I mean, every card has been a female card. So it's just sort of like, we're done. Like, we're done with this distorted, like, and when I say like masculine energy, like it could be a female that carries this energy, you know. I mean, it's like the sort of aggressive, narcissistic, like win at any cost, exploitative thing, you know, like that's kind of what I'm getting, that whole, it's like there's this universal rage to like cleanse the world of this energy. I don't know where all this is coming from, but that's kind of what I'm getting for the month of May. And it's like, you know what, if that happens, that would be good. Like, I think that's good, you know. Okay, I'm gonna go to the Mystical Shaman, and I'll just do a quick split. And since we have all this feminine energy, I might just do a Love Your Inner Goddess for the final card, because it's just like crazy. I mean, it's just this goddess energy is just like, I've never even had a reading like this, but it's so powerful. So I feel like there's something about May that's gonna be like, oh my gosh, this is so crazy. So when I do the split, I get the Earth Keepers. So this is all about the people who protect Gaia, who protect Mother Earth, and how in doing that and being in alignment with that, it's like being a steward of the earth is going to have you come into alignment with just sort of like all these gifts that you can't even fathom right now, which is interesting because there has been like messages during the eclipse season leading up to this sort of like releasing of a river of blessings or something like that. But that's so crazy that this Gaia card would come out. And then we have many paths. So the story with many paths is like, there's these two stonemasons and they're both laying stone, and you ask one of them what he's doing and he's like, I'm laying stone. You know, he's like totally uninspired, like he doesn't care. He's just, you know, clocking hours, you know. But then you ask the other one and he's like, I'm building a cathedral. You know, he's becomes part of something larger than himself and is like drawn inspiration from that. And it's interesting because I was just watching this video about the restoration of the Notre Dame Cathedral this morning, which is totally weird. But that's the whole thing. It's just like the people who are in alignment with this thing that's larger than themselves are going to be lifted, elevated, you know. And it's like there's this changing of the guard that's happening. Like people talk about how like the energy of the earth is being updated, you know, the age of Aquarius. And it's like, it's almost like this reading is kind of like going along with that. It's just sort of like there's a new era for the earth, and it's just sort of like if you've updated yourself and you have come into alignment, like I've been doing all these readings leading up to this too, about like justice for the truth tribe and how there's people who have done all this inner work and like come into alignment with this new energy and updated, and those people are going to go forward and be prosperous, you know. But like the folks that are just kind of in it for the money and are just like clocking hours or just, you know, exploiting people with like energy, like control of energy resources, it's like almost like those folks are going to get like a rude awakening, you know, that they don't see coming yet. But this is a crazy reading, but this is what I'm getting for the month of May. So there you have it. Okay, I'm gonna go to the, I think I'll just go to the Oracle of Seven Energies to pick a final card. This is the weirdest, it's literally the weirdest reading I've ever well, it's maybe not the weirdest reading, but it's just like it's weird because there's been like all this like rise of divine feminine energy that's been kind of coming up in readings lately, and but this is like super like climactic. It's just like, what is happening, you know? And it's like, again, it's like the overall energy. It's like the people that are in alignment with the earth, they're gonna have an opportunity that's gonna come their way, you know, and there's like some shift that's gonna happen, you know. And the people who've kind of been doing what's like always been done, like it's not gonna be as good. Okay, so when I did this split, I got the Roots of Abundance and I got Sacred Reverence. So again, it's just like, you know, we have this reverence for the earth. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Like and that's the Roots of Abundance. This is crazy. This is a crazy reading, but I love it. So, yeah, it's looking good. Like the tree huggers unite. We will conquer the world. It's about time.